everybody, it's me Helen here for another tutorial. Recently I've been doing some demonstrations at Standish and Atherton and Clifton Street, and I thought I would do some accompanying videos for anybody who missed the workshops or just wants a quick reminder of the techniques that we've been using. So the first block in this Christmas blanket, yes it is a Christmas blanket, woohoo, is this Scrappy block here. This was a demonstration that Sue did at one of the workshops a while ago, and it is a quilt as you go Scrappy quilt blocks. So I'm going to be using her instructions. I've made it a bit more seasonal because we're all doing Christmas blankets. Yes, Christmas blankets. So hence me doing a Christmas quilt. I keep saying blanket when I actually mean quilt. You'll have to excuse me. So, block number one, technique number one, the Scrappy quilt as you go. That's going to be today's video. The following video will be a applique video. Again, I demonstrated this at the workshop. So this is raw edge applique using some fusible webbing. Again, it is quilt as you go, so I quilted the background first and then popped on the applique. Santa and all his Christmas friends are made using scraps as well. And then the third technique in the third video will be how to join the blocks together. So when you do the quilt as you go method, you don't join the blocks together the same way as you do an ordinary quilt, and sometimes the instructions for the quilt as you go joining the blocks method, it's very confusing when you read them. So I think it would be good if we could actually go through it and join some blocks together, and then you can see actually how easy it is. And I think it also gives a nice outline to your blocks as well. On the back of the blocks I've used odd bits of fleece. I know this is not a hit with some people, but you know what, this Christmas blanket is all about using scraps, so I used scraps for the back as well. It's amazing what you can make just by using scraps. So without further ado, let's get on to the tutorial. So Scrappy quilt as you go. Let's get started. Let's just zoom in, then we can all see what we're doing. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I've just grabbed just a piece of fleece. Oh gosh, it's got hair on it. A scrappy piece of fleece. I mean, it's not as big as what I would use for a quilt, but you know, it depends what you're making, so whatever size you like. The instructions do give you a size, so you can refer to those if you want to make it exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is grab lots of strips. So I've cut some strips of varying widths from my leftover Christmas blankets. I keep saying blankets, I'm so sorry. Quilts, Helen, quilts. So the strips are 2.5 inches wide, 1.5 inches wide, 1 inch wide, whatever you like, whatever you've got left, make it into a strip, and that's what you can use. So let's get started. So that's what I've got today. Put them in there. So I'm going to start with one of the wider strips. It's always better to start with one of your wider strips, and I'm just going to put that over the fleece diagonally, just like that. Now you can pin it. You can pop some glue, a little bit of spray based on it. Personally, I don't do that. If you can hear squeaking, everybody, it's my chair. It needs a bit of attention. Right, so we've got one. Right, easy peasy. So then I'm going to grab another strip. So now here's my next strip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these right sides together. So right side, right side, right sides together, and I'm going to line up the raw edges. And this is very easy, honestly. You really can't go wrong with this. Okay, again, you can use pins if you feel comfortable. I'm going to go rogue, so let's just bring in the sewing machine. I'll try not to knock the camera. And we can see what we're doing. Let's zoom in. There we go. Oh, and it, you know, it would have helped if I'd thread the needle. So now everybody can watch me faff about threading the needle there. There we go. Da, 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 da. Sorry for this boring bit. Please feel free to fast forward me threading the machine. Okay, all threaded, quick as a flash. So, as you can see, I've got my 1/4 inch foot on my machine there. Everybody's got one of those. I think if you haven't got one, ooh, get one. Definitely a game changer. So we're going to slide it under. Just keep those edges lined up. Press the foot down. Everything's right. Down we go. And off we go. Feel free to stop, readjust. The best thing about scrappy blankets is that they don't have to be, you know, super, super perfect. And then readjust it. Off we go again. Readjust it. Off we go again. There we go. Right to the end. Needle up. Press the foot up. And snip off those threads. Okie dokie. So let's just put the machine back, zoom you out a bit. Right, so this is what we've got. So when you're doing this at home, naturally you would take this to the iron and press it, but for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to finger press this back. There we go. And that is basically it. So I'll put another one on and we'll just keep going. And we're going to build up this half. Okay, so let's grab another strip. Gosh, my chair is so squeaky. I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to bring the machine forward. Zoom in and you can see what we're doing. Onto the machine. Press the foot down, needle down. Line everything up. Make sure it's all nice and lined up together. And away we go. Now I'm sewing on a sewing length of 3, just because I'm going through the fabric and the fleece, and that's fine. And readjust. And there we go. Needle up. Press the foot up. Snip your threads. Couldn't be simpler. Push that back. There we go. So, again, fold this back over. You would press at this point. Oops, I got a bit caught up at the bottom. There we go. So, basically, we're just going to keep going until we get to the end. So, I'm going to do that now, and then I'll join you again in a minute. And I'm back. So here we are. I've gone all the way along, just joining the strips together, exactly how I've showed you it in the demo. And it kind of looks a bit funny because it's all wibbly and wobbly, but we're not going to worry about that now. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the other half of the fleecy block. So we're going to turn it round and we're going to do exactly the same as we did on this side. but on that side. And just be aware, if you're using any directional fabrics, just like the known ones that I've got here, just be aware that you're putting the strips on the right way around, because I have done that. And it was kind of all upside down, which my son thought was rather funny, but anywho, so again, you do exactly the same. Put your strip in the centre, right side's facing, and we do exactly the same onto the machine. Let's zoom you in. Oh, I keep doing that. What am I like? Under the machine eventually. In we go. Press the foot down, needle down. Again, using your 1/4 inch foot, we just use the same one all the way through, straight stitch, and off we go. And then stop, have a quick look, readjust if you need to, smooth it out a little. Down, off we go again. Rather a nice one to do this, nice and easy, not thinky. Use all your bits and bobs, make it so bright and colourful. I really like doing these. Barbara really likes doing these as well. Pop that out, snip the threads off, and here we go again. So just as we did before, again, you would iron this at home. I'm going to finger press, and I'm going to continue all the way across to the other side. So go have a coffee, go watch some TV for 5 minutes, and I'll be back. And here we are again. So as you can see, all my fleece now is covered with the Scrappy Bakes, and yes, it does look a mess, and you're probably thinking at this point, oh my goodness, but no, have no fear. What we're going to do now is we're going to flip our block over, and then we are going to trim. So at this point, if you've made your blocks a little larger than you want them to, which is what it does say in the instructions. In the instructions, it does say cut your blocks to 10 inches square. And then at this point, this is when you would trim it down to 9 inches. But again, if you want a 12-inch block, do it a little bit bigger and then trim down at this point to the block size that you want. So as this is just a demonstration, I'm not going to worry too much about size or precision. It's just to show you how neat it looks when you've done. Because at this point, you're probably thinking, goodness me, it looks like a dog's back leg. Well, you're going to be wowed in a moment. Let's just whiz all these bits off. Whizzy, whizzy, off we go. Probably would have helped if I'd put a new blade in, but never mind. Here we are, this one, take this off. Oh, and I'll share a top tip with you in a minute about cutting fleece on your cutting mat. So obviously this is not straight, I haven't measured it, I haven't squared up, but you'll be doing all those bits at home. Okay, big reveal. Da, 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 da. No. How neat does that look? So much better. And how cool is that? And just imagine, in summertime, you could do all these brights and bolds and different patterns and all these fun children's prints, whatever you like. So easy, so cool to do. And that's the end of the demo. But first of all, top tip. Sue does mention in her instructions that it's useful to turn your cutting board over when you are cutting fleece. I forget. I am a lazy quilter, I am a lazy sewer, and I forget. So I'll just zoom in. Can you see all this fluff now that's on my cutting mat? Well, do you know what I discovered? If you get the little pencils with the rubbers on the end, or an ordinary eraser. If you do this when you're cutting that, oh wow, it brings all the fleece off that's been cut in. How good is that? Just thought I'd share that top tip. So, well, thank you very much, everybody, for bearing with me today. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. And the next video will be on the, oh, I'm knocking the camera, on applique. So I'll do my best to get that sorted out as soon as possible for you. Okay then, so I'll see you at the next demo. Bye.